Hello my friends, it's Dante Ferrigno from Ferrigno Freedom Channel coming back at you again. I'm glad you're here. I want to do a quick review of a video with Dr. Shawn Baker. He has been a tremendous influence for me on this way of eating, and he shared a short video that I thought would be very interesting. I really don't know what he's going to say about it, but I know that when I started eating Lion Diet and getting off of seed oils, it was because of the gut issues I was having. The title of this video is Seed Oils Do This to Your Gut? So I'd like to be able to take a look at that, see what we can glean from the great Dr. Baker.
Okay guys, is soybean oil freaking killing us? What do we know about that? So anyway, we know humans have evolved to eat about the same amount of omega-6 as to omega-3 fatty acids. Now, some of you guys may notice little black eye here. That's I didn't get attacked by a vegan. That is jiu-jitsu practice, so just rolling hard, and that's what happened. So anyway, but today's diet, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 is now something like 16 to 1. It's dramatically changed. Does this have an impact on our health? And is there anything we should do about it? Studies have shown that in the last 100 years, the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats in our diets has dramatically increased. This ratio is actually pretty important. It's important for human health, particularly during pregnancy and lactation. Omega-6 in the body's accumulating can potentially lead to, obviously, fat accumulation and inflammation. The major source of that today is from soybean oil. Medical journals and newsletters are starting to call out this change and how it could lead to potential problems with gut inflammation. Animal studies certainly have shown that soybean oil and the linoleic acid that it contains promotes colitis, and we know a lot of humans with colitis, inflammatory bowel disease, IBS, those types of things. Researchers are also finding out that vegetable oil can lead to, quote unquote, an unhealthy gut microbiome or unhealthy gut bacteria. Other researchers have found that omega-6 fats can promote gut microbiome dysbiosis or gut bacteria imbalance and colonic inflammation. Researchers have also found that soybean oils promote obesity and diabetes more so than things like coconut oil or even fructose. And it can promote other inflammatory diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, cardiovascular disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, even potentially Alzheimer's disease. Americans and people worldwide.
I want to pause it right there in the middle real quick because he's already said a few things that I need to expound upon from my personal experience that I find very interesting. First of all, he talked about jiu-jitsu. I still have not started to take part in that. I just don't have the time in my life to fit it in, and I'd like to be able to do that. I'm still working full-time, and I'm doing this channel full-time, and I'm a full-time husband and father, and those things take a lot of time. I'm hoping to get there. But I will say something real quick for those of you who have been following my channel and know that my wife has finally decided to join me on a carnivore way of eating. Well, she's trying it for 30 days, but when I started, I was just trying it for 6 weeks. So who knows how it's going to go. She's on day 13 right now, and it was so nice to be able to see her taking this step as she's approaching her birthday. It's encouraging. But even more interesting, as he mentioned doing jiu-jitsu, is that our younger son, Levi, has been doing karate now since he was 5 years old. He's about to be 13 this year, and he's already made his black belt recommended in Taekwondo, and he's on the road to a first-degree black belt at age 12. I can't get over that. I never even got close to anything like that when I was his age. But now that he's in the adult and teenager class, my wife has decided, since she's there all the time with him anyway, she's going to join him in taking karate classes. And I can't help but think that eating carnivore, even just in a short period of time, has had some effect on her desire to do something with more activity. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. Now, he talked about issues with the gut and the microbiome and a lot of things that I had some questions about. I had never gotten my microbiome checked back in the day to where they could see what bacteria did what. But I can say that since I started doing Lion Diet, I've had it checked several times, and every time it referred to the flora in my gut bacteria was teeming with activity, good activity. The good biotics were there to make my gut properly function. And I'm willing to bet you if I could go back in time and check that gut issue that I had going on at the time, that I'm betting that that was part of the problem. You know, doctors never asked me one thing about my gut biome or getting that checked. So apparently it's not on their radar. I'm hoping more and more doctors are getting on board with the idea of they need to do their patients more help than harm. And just being able to prescribe medicine is not the only answer to helping people get healthy. For me, it has been diet 100% of the way. He also talked about how it causes inflammation in the gut. And I think even when you combine that with the stress of everyday life, I was under what I consider to be a pretty good bit of stress around the time that I was having these major issues, and I had been for a couple of years. And I wasn't controlling that stress very well. I think that combined with that food, those soybean oils and seed oils in general, were causing me all kind of problems in this area that they just couldn't see on a colonoscopy or an endoscopy. They were just seeing that there was no tumors. They were seeing that there was no polyps or lesions or anything like that, but they weren't seeing the damage that was done by the inflammation, what a lot of people call leaky gut. I'm pretty sure that was what I was dealing with. And in 2.5 years of eating this way, I have no issues with my gut unless I put something in my body that is not on my way of eating. When I eat something other than ruminant animals, water and salt, with small exception, I can have a little bit of Irish butter, I can have some pasture-raised eggs, but so far that's been about all I've been able to get by with on a regular basis. But whenever I have anything else, it just brings those pains right back, and I start having problems going to the bathroom again. I had found out I had been ingesting seed oil because of a restaurant that I was visiting over the past 6 months to get occasional meals. I think that was causing me some issues too, not only with the gut problem, but also with a little bit of weight gain. And I've been dealing with a little bit of returning anxiety over the past 6 months. But getting back to an all ruminant meat diet, for me, has been key. Now, I've mentioned this in previous videos, not all carnivores eat only ruminant meat, and some people don't need the stringency of lion diet. A regular carnivore diet can help a lot of people. So don't get me wrong when I say that I do lion diet. I'm not saying it's the only way, but if you're having issues with gut problems, carnivore diet and maybe even lion diet might be the key for you. I was having some other issues too, like I had low testosterone, I had high blood pressure, I had a number of issues going on that I thought maybe lion diet would be the key. And for me, lion diet has been the key. But like I said, for friends of mine like David and Miles Moore over at Big Mo Cattle, they've been able to lose close to 200 pounds in 7 months, and they have gotten their health so much more under control. They're more active than they used to be, and they're feeling great and looking great. I think he's absolutely right about these seed oils having a big problem for the gut. A diet that is strictly carnivore can easily leave you without those seed oils if you're just not putting them in your food. And sometimes you got to be real careful, especially if you're going out to eat, because restaurants don't know. They just don't know that what they're spraying on the grill could have an effect on you because you've done some damage to your gut.
Certainly becoming more obese, as everybody I'm sure is aware. One of the challenges is that so many people persist in saying that calories are the only thing that matters, and yet it's very, very clear that the actual composition of the food, the quality of the food, is equally, if not more so, important. Yeah. Just something as simple as the ratio of the type of fats is contributing to obesity. Now, often we hear about grain-fed versus grass-fed cattle. Cattle sometimes get a small amount of soy. Honestly, most of the soy goes to chickens and pigs.
Hey guys, editing Dante here, and I had to come in real quick because I saw that graphic while I was doing the clipping on this video, and I saw that cow that was eating that grass, and that is a perfect example of what I've been talking about in the past. Cows that eat grass like this are not being grass-fed properly. I've been to Big Mo Cattle Ranch, and I've seen the grass that they walk in. That grass is tall, and when they reach down to take a bite of grass, they're able to actually stick that long tongue of theirs out and grab the grass and pull it out right so that they're getting all of the carbohydrates that are at the top 2/3 of that grass. That's how those cows wind up getting so much fatter. And the grass-fed meat that you'll oftentimes see in the store is raised just like the one that they're showing in this graphic here, where they're eating the grass all the way down to the ground. They're not getting any carbohydrates. They're not getting as fat as they should, and they're not going to give you the full value you look for in grass-fed meat. So I just wanted to point that out again because I have so many people that come and tell me you need to stop harping on grass-fed because it's not that good and such and such. There is a big difference in properly done grass-fed and not properly done grass-fed. That's a good example of not properly done grass-fed right there. And I think that skews a lot of the research. Hopefully, we'll see more farmers start to adopt some of the philosophy like Big Mo has, where he raises his cows to eat and be fat and happy. All right, on with the video.
But grain, regardless, can change that ratio slightly so that you have a relatively higher amount of omega-6, a relatively low amount of omega-3s. One of the consequences is grain-fed beef is actually higher in monounsaturated fat, which some people would argue is actually better for us in that regard. And so the question is, what is the net effect? Honestly, probably in that particular scenario, depending on what else someone is eating, probably doesn't make that big of a difference. And that's what we've...
I will say when it comes to grass-fed meats, right now I think about the only way I know is to find a rancher that you can trust. What he says about grain-fed beef is absolutely true. I did most of my gains, or should I say most of my losses, my good losses, were on grain-fed beef. I've only recently made grass-fed beef a big part of my diet, but all along the way I've had to have store-bought beef. So I've still had tremendous results eating both grain-fed and grass-fed. Do I prefer grass-fed? Yes, if I can get it done the right way. But if it's something that I buy in the store, I'd rather just buy grain-fed and not pay as much. Hopefully you can find a rancher near you that raises their cattle that way if you're interested in getting grass-fed beef. But if not, grain-fed is certainly better than the alternative. I don't want to dissuade anybody from eating grain-fed beef.
Seen over and over again. Certainly better. A grain-finished diet of beef is far better than the average diet of soybean oil and processed food that most Americans are exposed to. What I've seen is people on a carnivore diet get healthy with a grain-finished, grass-finished. It doesn't seem to matter all that much. Okay, so what did we learn today? Soybean oil and other seed oils are potentially bad for your gut and promote inflammation and could lead to obesity. Beef is good. If you'd like to see how even a little bit of meat can turn someone's health around, please check out this video here on Miley Cyrus by clicking right here. Okay, I hope you guys learned something useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.
Interesting stuff. Yeah, well, good old Dr. Baker, man. He's got a plethora of information, and I've supported his company, Revero. I'm one of the early investors because I think it's a great thing that he's doing, that he's trying to bring into the mainstream some of the thinking that has been left out for a long time. I encourage you also to go to the link in the description of this video to watch the full version of his video, because I don't want to steal any of his thunder by covering his video here. I want you to be able to give him the props that he deserves by checking out his video. That's one of the reasons why I don't like to review videos that are recently made by other carnivores. But in this case, I wanted to talk about this one, and I wanted to see what he had to say, and I think it was relevant knowledge for all of us, and I'm glad I did it. Anyway, if you guys have any questions for me about the way Lion Diet has affected me, or how it might be able to help you, or why I do the difference that I do between Carnivore and Lion Diet, give me those questions in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to as many of them as I can. I'll see you guys next time. I wanted to try out this new skincare product that I bought on Amazon called Vintage Tradition. As opposed to using chemical-based cream like this that I usually use after I shave, at least all the ingredients in here are natural. This stuff really does seem to go a long way. I like it. It's definitely soothing to my skin. It doesn't have the burning sensation that it had when I got out of the shower. Vintage Tradition. Might want to give it a try. Vintage Tradition even makes products for the ladies. My wife loves the Pretty Girly Tallow Balm.
Because it feels really good. It smells really good.
I'll put a link in the description for this. Try it out and see what you think. I'll see you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?